Josh Smithberger with Delphian Trading. I'm a trading strategist there. In this video, we're going to be covering the organizer. When we log in, we're on the dashboard. To get to the organizer, we open up the menu, click on organizer. You can see there's quite a few different modules in there that we can get into. So first, we'll go into the risk per trade. So previously created ones, I can delete them by selecting and clicking delete. So it's now been removed. Or you can add a new one by clicking add new. Give it a name. I can specify how much I want to risk. So if I say 5,000, I want at least one option contract or 100 shares. And then I can say how much I want to risk per trade on debit strategies. So I can say 50, 50. And then we create that. It's successfully created. Another way to do this is just to do this quick create button and hit the risk per trade. And it'll bring you to the same place. And we can do that for signals, stock lists, entry exit days, trade rules, groups, capital plans. So if we go back in the organizer, the risk per trade, we can see that the file we just created, demo trade, is now in there. So we can use that in the system for different back tests. The next one is portfolio. So there's a separate video on portfolio. So please view that. Signals. So signals are created throughout the system. We can use them in the screener for back tests. You can see I have 293 in here. So if I want to delete one, all you do is select it and then hit delete. If you're not sure exactly what the criteria is, you can click that. So this is looking for state bullish transitions and state modeling, and it's closed above the 21-day SMA. I can add it to Daily Watch, which is a feature in the screeners, which will auto-populate every day the stock list and against the criteria that you had set. So I have one set on for this cross below the lower Bollinger Band with 2 standard deviations over a 30-day period. So that's being screened each day against the stock list that I set up. So to add a new, you can hit the button. We can create our own signal here by just selecting different criteria. So if we want a price over $20, and we can add in different criteria. So if we want to do Bollinger Band, close, cross above, 2 standard deviations, 20 days. So once we create those, they're reflected up here. If we want to delete one, we can just click that, delete it. We can add new ones once we name it. And hit create. It has been created and saved. The other way to do this is also to hit the quick create and then signal. It'll take you to the same screen. So now it's reflected in our saved signals. If we want, we can turn on the daily watch, and at the close of business, it'll update for the next day going forward until we turn it off. So if we want to turn one off, we do it here by clicking this off button. I'll say no because I want to keep it, but you can turn it off there. Next is stock lists. like the other ones, you can click the delete. You can add a new. You can look at the mode. It'll give you your criteria. If you're unsure, you want to add new, you can click add new. There's 3 types of ways to create a stock list: a manual. So if we give it a name, demo, you can type in the symbols, or you can go down to list and add them manually here, and then hit create. Import. So you have to download this Excel file. It'll give you the stock format, and then you just enter all the names in that Excel spreadsheet and click here to upload it, give it a name, and then create. So that if there's stocks not available in our system, because we have 1,310 right now, then it won't upload them. The other way is to do it via Signal. There's multiple ways to create a stock list via symbol. That's one way. You can go in and create it in this quick create, take it to the same button, and you can also do it in screeners. So if we go to custom, and we're screening against all symbols, we can go in and say price, $20. Let me find stocks. So you can see the button up here. We can add to stock list. So we can add multiple criteria: stock volume, greater than 30-day average. Now we find stocks, and now we're down to 270. So if we want to add that as a stock list, then we'll create a new stock list, type in the name. We can add in a description, and you hit save. So if that one's already exists, we can go through and give it a different name. So now that's successfully saved. If we go back in to our organizer, stock list, we can see it's located there. So the next one that you need to know about, I just forget about buy-sell criteria, is entry-exit dates. So this is the data that we use to do back tests. It gives us the entry and exit timing for the trades that we set up. So 1,262 listed here. So for each one, if you're not sure of the criteria, you can click here. It gives you the entry and exit criteria, and also populate the stock list. So I only did Apple on that one. So if you did multiple stocks, they'll all be listed here. You can also go in and look at the specific entry and exit dates for each one. So if you click on that entry exit dates, you can also go in and delete certain trades from the testing criteria if you want to do that. So you just select it by selecting a trade, hit delete, and now it's going to remove that one from there. Going back to the organizer, the entry exit dates. We can create new ones by adding new. The split button is used for if you created entry exit dates with over 1,000 entries, then it'll reflect that. You won't be able to backtest it. So if it was over 1,000, you would have to go in and select it. So this breakout historical that I made out had over 9,000 trades. So I had to go in and click the button for the initial one, and then I'd split it. So then it split it up into 1,000 trade each. When add new, you can do that with the add new button. You can also do it with the enter exit dates. Quick create. So we do that by naming it. So we say Amazon date 1. You can type in a single symbol, or you can do a stock list that you created or one that we have. So we'll just do a symbol. We'll just do a single symbol, Amazon. We're going to go into state modeling. Here's all the different criteria that you can use. You can use your custom signals, the calendar, IV ranker. This is just a different way to do it than the wizards, but it has the same format. So if we're going to do click the clock to do the entire test period, or we can go in and select individual ranges using the calendar, and we say state 1. So we can also type in a different symbol. So if Amazon goes into state 1, we want to trade Google, then you can set that here. Run in the background basically just denotes whether you want to wait for it to complete on the screen, which will lock up the rest of your the platform until it's done, or you can run it in the background and you'll get an alert when it's done. So we'll just run it. So I had to rename it because I just that one I already used that name. So what it does is populates all the trades down here. So entry and exit for every single trade. You can arrow through and see the different ones. So once we go back into enter exit dates, it's reflected there. Next one we'll go through is the trade rules. So these are just how we want to make the trade. So the strategy, the long call, the long stock. We can add and delete like the other ones. We can add a new one here. We can create them in the trade rules, quick create. So if we just call it, we'll do a naked put. Yes. So we go down, we look for the naked put. Right here. So now we have to, we can add in different stops. So we can stop after X days or 2 days before expiration. We can add in secondary confirmations if we're going to use state modeling or custom signals. If you click the I button here, it also gives you help on those. And we have to give it a range of days to look for. So if we say 1 to 3 months out, it'll start looking at for 1 month and then go all the way out to 3. Doesn't find anything in that range, then it'll reject it. We can do a delta. We can do lower standard deviation. So if we want to do above 1 lower standard deviation. So whatever that lower standard deviation price is, we'll buy 1 strike above it. Then we can take profit at 50% of max profit. And we can say max risk, 25% as our stop loss. Once we're happy with all that, you can add in special adjustments if you want. Just hit create, and now it's saved. And we can go into the organizer. And see that our naked put test is now in there. So also, let's skip down the capital plan. So if we have, going back to when we have more than 1,000 trades, or if we just want to combine different tests, we can do that here. We can add a new capital plan, demo test. We hit create. So now, in that organizer, we'll see it. So we can go in and add different things to those. And I'll show you an example. For this particular one, I'd added 4 different runs to it to give it a report with 4 different backtests, but all added into one. So if we hit that trophy button, that's the report. And this adds all the different runs together and gives us a grand total for all those different runs. Daily alerts and daily watch will be covered separately. The watch list, we can go in. This is if we want to create additional watch lists. I have 3 different ones here. They can add new here. And you can do it with a manual or an import by typing a name. If we want to do Facebook, Netflix, and we want to add in other ones, we can do it down here too. To create that demo test, you can also import, just like we did with the stock list. Now it's reflected there. So that's the major parts of the organizer. There's a separate video on the portfolio. If you have questions on some of the other modules in there, feel free to give us a call or email us at sales@delphiantrading.com.